Hi, I'm Jen from Tea Leaves and Tweed, and welcome to another tea tasting. Today I'm sharing a quick little session with a bowl of matcha from Naoki Matcha. So Naoki Matcha is a company that I've talked about before. I used their Yame Silver matcha in my Takami Kakusha video, and I've talked about it on my blog and on my Instagram before. And I subscribed to their newsletter, and in their newsletter they were asking for testers for their new special release, and this is their Masters Collection limited edition Chiran Harvest matcha from 2019. So they sent me a tin of this free of charge. It's a very slick little tin. It's this like fancy black design, and just asked me to send them my notes, and I did take really careful tasting notes the first time I tasted this matcha, but I thought I would share a little video of how I made my bowl of matcha and then just share my thoughts as I have them as I drink the matcha. So let's whisk. So here is my simple matcha setup. I've got my tin of Chiran Harvest matcha. So this is the very beautiful black tin. It's got a little bit of matcha spilled on it, but it's very pretty when it comes. So I'm just doing a simple session. I have my bowl pre-warmed. I have my whisk pre-soaked. I like this little cup from Tea Warehouse because it's exactly 60 milliliters, which is exactly the amount of matcha that I need. So I start by, this has a little information card in the top. You have to pull out. My matcha is a real mess. So I start by taking 2 bamboo scoops of matcha. This is about 1.5 to 2 grams of matcha. And I store my matcha in the fridge. I feel like it stays fresher tasting for longer. And then I just use the scoop to run it through the sieve. Tap off the excess. Then I have water here that is actually at 190 degrees Fahrenheit. One, because pouring it into a separate cup first will cool it off a bit. And 2, because in the traditional Japanese tea ceremony, you're just taking water out of kind of a big cauldron. And I'm whisking this with a little bit of water to begin with to make kind of a paste. It just helps it suspend properly. And then I'm pouring in the rest of my water. And whisk, 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 whisk. And almost immediately you get this beautiful frothy foam. I'm just gonna make sure I get a good foam on this. And here is our bowl of matcha. So now we have our bowl of matcha. And traditionally you would drink this in 3 sips, but I'm going to take a little sip. Already, before it even touches your lips, you just get this beautiful aroma of buttered green vegetables, fresh buttered green vegetables. And I don't even like cooked spinach, but this just smells so delicious. I guess it's more like a cooked Swiss chard or kale or one of the vegetables that I like. And it's just this incredibly smooth, buttery texture. It's got that kind of richness to it in your mouth that's like you're eating something with butter, like a buttered pastry. It's got that green vegetable, so I get that buttered spinach flavor from it. The foam, the froth, even though I'm not an expert matcha whisker, the froth is so dense and silky that it's like the really well-made foam in a flat white. So it's that dense middle of the pitcher latte foam from a really talented barista, which I am not, so that's kind of pleasant. I'm savoring this. You get that umami. So usually with the matchas that I've had before, you get a bit of a hit of bitterness and then it fades into that umami and into the sweetness. And this is just a pure umami, soft, kind of growing flavor in your mouth. And it tastes to me like a really fine aged cheese. It reminds me of a really nice mature cheddar cheese where it has that richness, that umami quality to it, and then it fades into an almost sweetness, but instead of being like a sugary sweetness, it's this aged cheddar sweetness, the way that cheese can be sweet sometimes. And then as you finish it, you get this aftertaste that is sweet, but again, it's not cloying or sugary. It's like a brioche pastry or like a really fine waffle where it's this like buttery, rich, baked good in your mouth, and it's just so enjoyable. This is possibly the nicest matcha I've ever tasted. I'm very happy that I got to try this, and thank you so much to Naoki Matcha for looking for testers from the random people that get their newsletter, because this is fantastic. And I'm drinking this in tiny little sips because I almost don't want to finish it, but I do need to finish it. And down to the very last sip, there's no clumps of matcha in the bottom of the bowl. There's no grittiness, there's no feeling like it gets stronger as you go on. It just perfectly suspends in the water. This is a fantastic matcha. So that was the Chiran Special Harvest from 2019 from Naoki Matcha. And I hope you enjoyed this tea tasting, and I hope I see you again sometime. Thanks.